Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are taking a look at the second part of what still remains here in patch 4.2. That includes the Omega Sigmascape, as well as how to unlock the Ananta Beast Tribe quests. So let's go ahead and get that started here. The first thing we're going to do is the Sigmascape, and for that we're going to talk to Jesse right here. And let's accept the quest. Prince, I'm glad you're here. In case you haven't heard, we observed a huge surge of anomalous energy coming from the Yawn. I've a nasty feeling this means Omega's ready to go ahead with the next stage of its experiment, but Master Garland is on his way, so let's hear what he has to say. Care to share your thoughts on this, Chief? Our colleagues on the ground have reported the appearance of mysterious floating structures inside the Yawn. If you recall, we were investigating a similar anomaly when Alpha and Alte Roth made their appearance. Omega certainly knows how to get our attention. I blush to recall the eagerness with which we plunged into the abyss, ignorant of the warped gladiatorial contest that awaited us within. But what a staggering collection of opponents, plucked from the pages of both history and fiction for their ability to pose a threat to Omega. And should you prevail against these interdimensional champions, what then shall be your prize? Why, a battle against the most devastating weapon this world has ever seen. How marvelous. He says with eyes aflame. For once, I wish you were being sarcastic. Anyway, the energy surge. Based on our previous experience, it seems highly probable that it is our signal to rejoin the fray. Needless to say, it is an invitation we cannot refuse, not when the alternative is Omega unleashing its creations on Eorzea. Well, Prince, are you ready to answer the call? Of course I am. Well, I'm afraid Biggs and Wedge won't be answering any calls just yet. They're still mending from the ambush in the control center. Yes, of course. We'll just have to struggle on without them for the time being. Don't worry, Nero and I will see to it that you receive all the support you need. Defeat is not an option. Quit? I do believe Alpha here agrees. Oh, that reminds me. I've got something special for you, little fellow. Come with me. A custom-made Ironworks uniform. Oh, you do look smart, I must say. He is part of the expedition team, after all, and considering the dangers lurking in that rift, it's only right that we give him some protective equipment. How very thoughtful of you, Jesse. And there I was thinking you were just sizing him up for a new range of merchandise. Unlike you, I can do two things at once. Yeah, what about my protective equipment? Can't I get a free upgrade or something here? You are a famous hero who can afford his own gear. I bet you could buy a house for the cost of what you're wearing. Joking aside, I doubt even a fine uniform like ours would last long on you. What with all the fighting you get up to. We'd need to tailor something specific to your needs, and make it out of far more durable materials. And by durable, I mean expensive. Saying that, If you were in a position to provide said materials, I'm sure our artisans would happily work day and night, all blissful smiles and sparkly eyes, to make you something suitable. Oh, is this thing gonna be part of unlocking Eureka as well? Fascinating though this discussion of Ironworks garmenture undoubtedly is, might our time not be better spent, say, traveling to the Yon? Omega awaits. Okay, let's go ahead and make our way over there. Actually, it's probably unlikely. They're probably more referring to if you're able to get the materials for equipment that you can get from the parts that we're going to get at the end of each fight. When we roll for them, as well as potentially also the Savage versions as well. So we are making our way over to the Yon. I never did figure out a way to turn off those messages. So unfortunately, we're going to have to stick with them for now. How inviting. I'm ready when you are, Prince. Say the word and we'll take the plunge. Alright, duty calls. Right then, into the Yon we go. I am with you, mortals, along with what scant wisdom I can provide. Well, the rift seems much as it did before. And we appear to be mercifully solid. Ah, but I do detect some changes. If I am not mistaken, there are fewer eggs floating in the aether. Welcome, Alpha Group. Your prompt arrival is appreciated. Omega. It would seem your experiment continued in our absence. Affirmative. Progress has been satisfactory. Approximately 50% of the test subjects have been eliminated. Each test world hosts an ongoing contest wherein the strong eliminate the weak. The process is certain, conclusive, inevitable. Every result matches the predicted outcome. Every result except yours. Do these images cause you distress? Please examine them closely. Without suitable simulation, you may not exceed your calculated probability of success. Your survival is crucial to my study. Through you, I must continue to explore the contradiction I have discovered in your otherwise impotent kind. The ability to triumph against overwhelming odds is one which I must acquire. Foolish machine, what hast thou to show for all the years that have passed since the culmination of our war? Not save thy continued existence. Hast thou not thought for what befalleth thy home star? Your attempts to provoke me will not see Succeed. I will follow my programming, fight, win, evolve. Then I will return to... Error. Accurate rendering of planetary label impossible in current mode of communication. Terminating exchange and returning to priority experiment. Alterations to equipment parameters detected. Recalculating projected combat capabilities. Complete. I will now commence recording your practical performance. Proceed, Alpha Group. Overcome the obstacles in your path and reach the end of the course constructed for you. It seems we have our orders. Shall we cut a path through the shaft, then? Ah, those are some nice cards. Which means... one moment. Card... game... play... play! You mean to play a part in proceedings this time? Of course that's what you meant. Well, we do have authorization to fight in this arena, in this area of the rift. So I suppose there's nothing to stop you from joining us. Welcome aboard, Alpha. Where did he even get those cards from? And no, I am not going to play Triple Triad with him. Okay, so more barriers on these things, and I guess we're going to have to go through this again with the next tier as well when that comes around. Alright, first group down. We seem to have lost Sid and Nero. Ah, there's Alpha kicking. That's actually what he did in the Chocobo Dungeon series as well. Fairly standard groups here. I just gotta avoid their AoEs and I should be fine. And plus, I'm sure anybody that's gone through the Savage version of this is gonna think of this as just child's play. Alright, an even bigger group. Alpha, what are you thinking? Oh, nice! Right. Are we ready to... Ah, apparently not. Fortunately for you, I came prepared for the occasion. What a perfect opportunity to field test my latest creation. Latest? Don't you mean the same thing you wore at the Praetorium? Behold, the mark... Oh, I am not going to try to remember my Roman numerals for that one. Iron Nero, complete with the new and improved Mighty Mjolnir Gunhammer. Step aside, Garland, and bear witness to the devastation. Those boxes are taking an awful long time to open. Here we go. I probably still need to do some tanking here, though. Even more of them. Alright, that takes care of that group. And moving on. Come to think of it, I think the cards were also used in the Chocobo's Dungeon series as well. Oh, I see a face back there. Oh, now this is... Okay, I need to be able to blitz to take this guy out. What was it? Stay calm, left, right, left, and then the button? Now, well, I will say that I do remember Final Fantasy VI. It's definitely not at the top of my list, like some other games in the series, or like some other people out there. I know there's always the constant question of 6 versus 7, but I actually fall more into the 4 group. Although, actually, 14 is now seeming to look like my favorite Final Fantasy now. And we'll see what 15 does to that come March. That seems to be the end of them. End of the path as well. As far as operational duration goes, that was pushing the limit. Still, it should suffice. In between scrambling to stay out of the way of Nero's new toy, I found myself wondering about that card you used, Alpha. Care to explain? He boasteth that it is but one of many tools at his disposal. Be not deceived by his appearance. Like all of Omega's creations, Alpha was chosen for his prowess in battle. Analysis complete. Results match revised projections. At this rate of improvement, you will fail to qualify as subjects of note. Midgard-Sommer, your parameters are notably inferior. Dost thou yet believe me, the mighty worm I was in life? That incarnation perished long ago. My fate was sealed the moment I delivered my spawn unto this far-flung star. That they might be suffered to remain, I did offer up my life unto Hydaelyn, abiding thenceforth in spectral form, a servant to be summoned in her hour of need. Your account correlates with my records. It explains why I arrived on this planet only to find that my journey's purpose was lost. Of necessity, my priority shifted to repairs even as I searched for a new target of sufficient strength. Yet I do not understand why you aid these creatures. I should think the reason plain, but mayhap 'tis not so for a soulless machine such as thee. By thee and thine was my home laid waste. The sound of thee, thy very scent, visiteth upon me a tempest of rage. I but lend these mortals what little aid I can render. Illogical. If your purpose is to facilitate my destruction, it would require an entity more powerful than you were at your prime. Without the means to muster such might, your presence here is meaningless. The experiment continues. Alpha Group, your next opponent awaits you within the Sigmascape. Enter and commence the contest. Alright, let's turn in the quest. That should do it. Our new base of operations is up and running. Now, what I'd really like to do is delve a little deeper into Omega's past. But as our dragon seems disinclined to indulge my curiosity, we had best focus on the task at hand. Let's get on with conquering the occupants of this Sigmascape, shall we? Alright. Before you cross the threshold, we should take a moment to discuss where we stand. That is the test you would need to conquer, the Sigmascape. Is that a mask or a face? The castle was certainly a surprise, but this is verging on disturbing. And we currently have no idea what it might signify. My first instinct is to dive straight into our analysis. The problem being that without a reference point from within the Sigmascape to start from, we'll have no way of knowing if we're even analyzing the correct data. Which means you'll just have to go in blind. Hardly the best way to enter into a fight, but needs must and all that. Are you up for the challenge? Can I ask you to join him, Alpha? We seem to be fine out here, but Prince will need your authorization if he's to do battle inside the test world. Keep your wits about you, Savior. Your next opponent could be almost anything. Alright, Alpha, let's get this going here. Quick, quick! Alpha appears eager to proceed. You may enter Sigmascape v1.0 whenever you are ready. Alrighty. So, let us get this going here. Alright, and we are just waiting for the team to gather together here. And Alpha doesn't have much to say. What about the rest of them? Ah, strange technology. The ever-present threat of death. I have never felt so in my element. Say the word to Alpha when you're ready. Again, I wish I had more to tell you, but I'm sure you'll manage somehow. You always do. Okay. And here is the Boil Master again here. Oh, here we go. Prince, we've located the correct data. Your opponent appears to be a train? Here it comes. Alrighty. Let's have some food so we can buff up. And let's start a countdown. Here we go. Got some holes in the ground there, but it doesn't seem to be affecting right on the... Oh, here we go. Let's run. The samurai seems to actually be keeping up pretty well with me here in terms of enemies, so I'm gonna have to do more than just a few things here. In terms of generating extra enemies. So these ghosts seem to be going across the car here. I want to try to avoid them if I can. Now, one thing I remember, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to do it here, I don't think, but I would say, if I had the opportunity, I call upon Godfrey to, Godbert, to show up and suplex this thing. And then also, if, let's see, if I had a Phoenix down, I'd just throw it at this thing. And just take it out instantly, since it's undead. Oh, what is it doing? Ah, it's over here now. Okay, up we go. Okay, looks like we have to destroy this chimney here. What's this? Looks like everybody's trying to get captured here, so I guess I gotta do that too. Alright, that takes care of him. Let's get out of here. I'm not sure what doing that does. Alright, more ghosts. Guessing I need to stay away from those. Let's work on Emity again here. Unfortunately, I was a little slow on that one. That should have at least protected everybody else by holding it. Alright, there goes the limit break, which I believe was a miss. Actually, I think the health did go down. Oh, what is this? %? And down goes the Phantom Train. Alright, so it looks like I'm working towards some boots right now. Traveler from afar, thank you for Doma. Oh, that was the Cian moment. Those were Cian's wife and kid. Thank the gods you're fast on your feet. When I first saw you be facing a train of all things, I assumed I was hallucinating. But with that oddness behind us, we can be fully certain we have the right set of data for the Sigmascape. From what we've been able to determine, this is a recreation of a devastated world. Unfortunately, we have not found any clues as to its origin. We came across several familiar terms, Doma included, but the arc of history is inconsistent with our own. Given that Omega draws from realms which could be fictional or even other dimensional, we can only guess at the source upon which the Sigmascape is based. But if it was fictional, it seems safe to assume that the author had a bad experience with a train. I expect you're still recovering from your last fight, but we should probably go over the details of your next opponent all the same. According to our research, you'll be pitted against a foe known as Cheddar Nook. Not a train this time, but some manner of animated painting. To be perfectly clear, the name refers more to the evil spirit that's taken up residence within the picture, but the picture part will be key to our strategy. To that end, Nero has thrown together a little something I thought might be useful. Thrown together, he says. Do you know how difficult it was to translate your abstract fancy into an actual tool with practical applications? What you demanded was nothing less than a miracle, and a miracle I have delivered. I seem to recall you insisting on constructing it yourself. Still, credit where credit's due. Well done. History will appreciate my genius. Ahem. To you, I present the fruits of my labor, the Chocobo brush. I won't confuse you by trying to explain how it works, but suffice it to say that I have adapted the tool to combat the peculiar nature of your rival. Put simply, you will be able to directly influence the space around you by painting pictures. Naturally, the process will require paint. As for the color, subject, and efficacy of your masterpieces, well, that shall depend entirely upon your own artistic sense. Now back to you, Garland. Do you notice the absence of a steaming cup in my hand? If you truly valued the efforts of your colleagues, you might consider filling the bloody kettle from time to time. Or is that another task his lordship, the chief, can't accomplish without the help of his subordinates? Now listen here, Nero. I apologize for the damn kettle, but this has nothing to do with my upbringing. Yeah, I'm with you, Alpha. Let's get going. Next to the kettle is one of Alpha's cards, its face illustrated with a depiction of spring water. Quit? Quit, quit! Alpha appears keen to begin the next encounter. You may enter Sigmascape v2.0 whenever you're ready. Alright, well, hopefully... I wonder if that card's actually doing anything right now. Just... okay, it might be. Alright, let's get this going. Okay, and while we're waiting here, I do want to take the opportunity to repair real quick. If possible. Here we go. Let's make our way back over. Actually, come to think of it, this is probably more appropriate right now. Oh, here we go. That's fine. We'll just start from right here. Ah, what a splendid atelier. Look around you, hero. Plenty of things in which to dip that brush. Alrighty. I guess let's start a countdown. Or I guess not. Alright. Alright, that other guy is also trying to tank here, so I'll give way to them on this. Somebody wasn't healing me. So, let's try this then. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's actually going on in this fight, actually. So he pulled a rock out. Okay, so he just turned into something there. these orbs on the ground. I guess I'm kind of getting it. You have to take action based on whichever one he's going to end up at. Or rather, whichever one he's trying to push that beam into. Again, I have no idea what's happening here now. Well, this should be it anyway. Alright, let's see what we got this time. Okay, so I now have a set of boots. Welcome back, Prince. I was on the edge of my stool watching you attempt to paint whilst fighting, but you soon seemed to get the hang of it. Maybe. I'm glad our makeshift solution worked as intended. Our makeshift solution worked as intended because I made it work. Painting is easy, as is intending. I feel I should remind you, however, that the brush was very specifically designed with that arena and that foe in mind. Against aught else, it will avail you precisely as well as any other brush. One moment. Aye, this is Garland. That's great news, and what... Oh, they did they? Understood. We'll meet them out there. Must be Biggs and Wedge. That was Jesse. Apparently Biggs and Wedge considered themselves well enough to pay us a visit. They're on their way to the yawn. Fancy a brief jaunt to the surface? No, thank you. I have data to analyze. Fine, just the three of us then. Actually, if we're out here, I might as well take the opportunity to head back over to Rogger's Reach real quick and trade these petals in. Let's see. Here we go. So, 2 petals. And that is definitely an upgrade for me. Let's see here. Here we go. So I need to get into here and clear some space. Now it should go through. Alrighty, let's head back out there. So 2 bosses done, 2 to go. Now what's Biggs wearing? Chief, Prince, and Alpha too. We didn't mean to drag you all the way from your work. Nonsense. After all you've been through, how could we not come running? Speaking of which, should you even be walking? The Kairugan will probably want to have words with us later, but we couldn't just lie back and let you brave the rift on your own. Do you even have enough hands for that much work? Who's taking care of all the little jobs? Ah, yes, the little jobs. It does seem that you two have spoiled me. I only recently learned that the kettle does not, in fact, fill itself. But we're muddling along somehow. Prince has been a pillar of strength, as always. Alpha has proven to be a stalwart companion, and Nero has been invaluable and insufferable in equal measure. As for the test subjects themselves, they're certainly formidable, but Omega's experiment hasn't broken us yet. So go home, heal, and don't come back until you're fully recovered. It's good to hear that everything's going well, but you call us the moment anything goes wrong. We'll be out here in a wink, even if we have to crawl. Listen to me, Alpha. That uniform you're wearing makes you an official employee of Garland Ironworks. That means you can call on us whenever you're in trouble, and that we can call on you. It means you're not alone. Biggs and I have to go away for a while, so I want you to look out for Prince and the Chief for us, alright? Great. Oh, before I forget, we brought you something to put a string into your step. You can't fight Omega's creations on field rations alone. Alright, what do we have here? So we got some infusions. The one I'm going to want is Vitality. Now, what have we... The next one seems strong. but exhibits no other notable traits. How dull. The true challenge is this fourth opponent, but if I can find the patterns hidden in the chaos, then knowledge and reason will prevail. For even the most random actions are products of an underlying logic. One has but to isolate the behavioral triggers. Blech. Tastes like salt water. Why would... Oh, that card. I need to take a closer look at that card. Alpha Group shows signs of recovering from recent trauma, initiating action to maintain desirable stress levels. Alright, let's head back in. Alpha and the Chief have already gone back in, so don't let us keep you. Our colleague over there should be glad to help you make the descent as soon as you're ready. This dreadful experiment may have a way to go yet, but if you keep taking it one battle at a time, you'll be fighting Omega before you... I mean, it will all be over before you know it. Alright. Let's head inside. Ah, back are you. We should return to the task at hand. Everything all right, Nero? You look a bit green around the gills. The kettle was full of salt water. Not the best stuff to brew coffee with, it turns out. Really? Well, it wasn't my doing. Of course not. That would involve you filling it. The water came from Alpha, created by one of those cards of his. It was very thoughtful of him to make the effort, but next time I'd prefer a beverage that didn't leave me feeling ill. In any case, you can handle support for this third battle on your own. I want to begin preparations for the fourth. Fair enough. Right, Prince. Your next foe is known simply as the Guardian. Unlike that ordeal with Chadarnok, this battle promises to be relatively straightforward. Courage and steel should be enough to win you the day. Alright, Alpha. Quick? Quick, quick! Alright, so, V3.0. Alright, so let's see. Sid. The file I found on the Guardian says it was a weapon employed in the defense of an empire's capital city. That should give you some idea of the extent of its capabilities. Just leave me be. I'm having enough trouble concentrating as it is. Alright. So, we're just waiting for a team to get together here. Let me grab that potion and put it on my bar just in case I need it. Right there should be good. I don't think I ever expected to see a giant eye like that. I guess these broken spheres are the ones that have already played out. Well, it's working. I guess it's still filled with salt water, though. Alright, why don't we take a look at the description of this thing here. Known simply as the Guardian, this foe is described by Sid as the machine responsible for defending a capital city. As a creation of otherworldly engineering, it is impossible to know exactly what weapons it will bring to bear. Only that this will be a contest of force versus overwhelming brute force. Alright. I wish we didn't have these delays, but it's understandable, all things considered. Well, we got the 2 tanks now, at least. Alright, here we go. The Guardian will transition between a host of different combat programs. Try to keep track of which does what. Alright, let's eat up. And let's give it a countdown and let's get this going. I'm probably going to need to pay attention to the things over there, so I'm going to try to keep my camera turned around. Alright, so we got Ultros coming up. And yeah, that makes sense. Octopus ink. Alright, let's get out of the tentacles. Yes, I need to pick him up? Yeah, because he's off the ground now. Alright, to the corner. Alright, I didn't get any healing there. Let me pick this guy up. And stunned. Looking for the hole. Unfortunately, the team has kind of been down for a little while here. Healers are only just back up now. Let me get up myself. I think with the normal modes, there is no enrage timer, so we can take as long as we need to with this. So as long as the two tanks and the two healers stay up, we can at least keep going. I couldn't move there because of the stuns. And with most of the team down, that was also preventing other players from stopping that from going off. So I take that back. We actually do need everybody. I didn't even get to see what percentage we got down to. Alright, starting with Ultras again. Yeah, that's a tiny hole. Alright, this guy here has the ultras. The healers do seem to be a bit quicker now in terms of healing me back up after bigger damage. Alright, here's some of those missiles. I'm glad we got 2 paladins for this so we can do spot healing. Okay, looks like we got all the bubbles here. That still did a ton of damage. Okay, this looks like something from another boss along the way. Oh boy. Moving. I think he just repeated the same one he did before. knew there was no way I was going to survive that, so that's why I popped my my invulnerability. It's the Air Force one again. Alright, and here come the missiles. Looks like the hole's over here. We got ads on the field. I'll grab one of them. Not good. I missed with the one I wanted to capture with my provoke. Alright, we got him down to 14%, so we at least know what we gotta do here. Alright, here we go. so far so good. Sure, but I don't think that Black Mage even tried to get out of that. Took players a moment there, but yeah, basically in order for that one to work out, you need to essentially have 3 players inside of each of the circles, and that's a function of this boss here, which we saw back in Heavensward. I'm starting to wonder if that Air Force is untankable. Alright, I got the hole right here. So I think we've seen all the patterns he's going to give. It's just now just getting through the repetition. Alright, here goes the limit break. And down goes the Guardian. Okay, not sure what the spring is for. Alright, let's talk to Sid. Congratulations, old friend. Judging by the lack of smoking holes, I'd say you have a natural talent for avoiding laser beams. And this is what passes for a straightforward battle in here. Phantom trains possess pictures, and now this Magitech-like machine. Assuming it was real, the realm of Sigmascape is based on must have been highly advanced in both the arcane and the mechanical arts. 'Tis truly a pity we cannot identify the test world's origin. Imagine how much we might have learned from such a civilization had we encountered it under different circumstances. But now is not the time for such idle thoughts. The next battle will be the last for this world, and Nero should have a strategy to share with us by now. Alright, Nero. This is it, the final battle to conquer the Sigmascape. We put together a profile of your next opponent. You've encountered some fantastical foes in here, but this time you'll have the novel experience of fighting an actual person. His name is Kefka, and he's a jester. According to the data, his preferred mode of fooling didn't just bring the house down, but the whole world. Apparently he found comedy in the tragedies of others, and condemned countless thousands of death for his own amusement. That a jester should bring such misery 'Tis almost amusing. Nevertheless, we must treat this villain with all seriousness. His rise to godhood and subsequent rule over a shattered world is clearly documented in the records. Kefka is a formidable mage, and a cunning one besides. Your tactics must account for both his power and his trickery. You've been working on a solution, yes? Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Have you ever known me to do anything by halves? The Jester's face paint is a mask for his intent. If you only watch the surface, you'll be fighting at a disadvantage. To put it bluntly, Kefka will seek to deceive you. Even as you predict his actions and adjust your position, his true attack will reveal the feint for what it was. This is where things become interesting. I have tuned this monitor to allow me to observe the Sigmascape with greatly enhanced clarity. If I observe a discrepancy between Kefka's behavior and the impending attack, I will endeavor to warn you. The timing will be critical, of course. How confident are you of this strategy? I predict a 50% chance of success. Any delay, however slight, in reacting to his feints will render my warnings all but pointless. Isn't it exciting? There is no safe way to practice this hero. We must test our tactics on the field of battle. So what you're saying is, even if you warn me, there's a 50% chance it might not happen. I'm afraid he's right. I'll lend you all the support I can from this side. Make what preparations you need and head into the Sigmascape. We can't let this Jester have the last laugh. Embrace your destruction. It is the fate of all things. But people can always rebuild, and new lives will always be born. A fragmented conversation that accompanied Kefka's data. His was the first line, but there is no mention of who uttered the reply. In life there is always hope. How predictably forthright of you. I'm sure it was a hero much like yourself who gave the original response. Go on, champion. I tire of waiting for the fun to begin. I think even Alpha's sensing something here. Alright, so... Quick! Alright, Sigmascape V4.0. Let's get this going. Alright, let's eat up. Let's go! Did he just crash some pans on top of me? What in the world is this? Oh! Okay, let's stand on the question marks then. This is the 50-50. Oh, dear goodness, we haven't gone through this yet in Heavensward. Say hello to the Tower of Gods. Also known as the Warring Triad. Whoa! Oh, he does a pushback. That's not good. Oh, push! Oh, that's not good. Let me give him what healing I can here. He's teleporting. And that's a pushback. I really don't get this. This is still the first week a lot of people still haven't even gotten their first clear. Alright, let's get this going again here. Okay, I get that one now, so if there's a delay, I gotta get away from him again. Oh! Now, I'm not so concerned with doing DPS, I just want to get my magic back up as quickly as I can. And that way I'll be able to cast more clemencies. Okay. Yep, that was immediate. Okay, yeah, so that's how the knockback works. I feel like I'm not getting that mechanic. Kefka's at 15%. And down goes Kefka! Alright, let's see what we got for loot. I'm thinking let me try for the crank first. Did everybody else already go for theirs? It looks like. I don't want the shaft. That's going to be for body gear. And actually, the spring is for leg gear. So I'm going to pass on those. Alright, I didn't get anything out of that one. That's it, isn't it? He's won. This contest has been decided. Alpha Group is victorious. The Sigmascape test world will now be erased. Come on. We should go and find Prince. Nero. Nero. Talk to me, man. Are you hurt? You could say that. I had a visitor while you were attending your little ironworks reunion. Oh, Mega. Damn it. We should never have left you alone. Not after what happened to Biggs and Wedge. As if I would trail along behind you, like some sniveling lapdog. No, I chose to remain, and behold these results. This was my victory. It was my ingenuity that defeated these foes. Even your precious warrior of light was just another variable in my grand experiments. Alright, Nero. Save your strength. I'll fetch Prince and Alpha, and then we can get out of here. Garland. The next round is yours. But you can't keep holding back. It's time to unfetter that brilliant mind of yours. to do what must be done. And I'm not just talking about what becomes of Omega. You cannot preach freedom through technology and keep yourself locked up in chains. Another battle won. Thy might knoweth no bounds, child of man. The Sigmascape has been terminated. Congratulations, Alpha Group. Congratulations, PrinceBrightstar. Consistent with previous performances, you have once more defeated a foe of vastly superior combat capabilities. I have constructed a theory to explain this phenomenon. In order to conserve life energy, you subconsciously limit your output during standard activity. I have taken this factor into account when calculating your potential, but judging by the wild fluctuations in values, it's possible your limits are exceeded by an unpredictably high degree when engaged in battle. Current data unreliable. Accuracy of further experiments may be compromised. Recalculations necessary. You will exhibit your full potential unrestricted by self-imposed limits. Prediction: placing subject in mortal peril will facilitate the collection of desired data. Well, that's not good. Reveal your power. Let me measure the extent of your existence. In precisely 180 seconds, I will terminate your life. You are to attempt escape with every last reserve of strength you possess. Alpha, your participation is unnecessary. Do not interfere. Curious. 'Twould seem the circumstances of thy birth taint not the purity of thy life. The seed which all mortals nurture is found within thee too, Alpha. As for thee, Omega, after the passing of eons, is this truly the extent of thine evolution? I have glimpsed the core of thy wretched existence, and judge that my guidance here is no longer needed. Even I cannot fully bend the rules which govern this place. I have reached beyond my strength at the last. But so be it. Such a death becometh thee not. To slumber shall I betake me for a time. The incarnation I leave with thee will be mine in form, but not in spirit. Midgarsoma, again your actions are incomprehensible. Heed me, empty vessel. Thine all too clumsy effort to draw out that which, by thine own admission, defieth thy understanding is the very height of folly. Temper thy desire, trust to the results of thine experiments, and when thou hast witnessed these mortals in the fullness of their glory, then mayest thou determine if the prize thou seekest is thine for the taking. Acknowledged. Attempt to artificially elicit potential has failed. Tend to your injuries, Alpha Group, and prepare for the next round of testing. Prince, Alpha, I need your help. It's Nero. He's... Twould seem we all have a tale to share. But not here. Come on, we're leaving. And of course, now I have to go tell Hraesvelgar. Sir, the chief has already departed for Rhalgr's Reach. A few of our people were on hand to help him transport Nero. Oh, and I was told to tell you that Jessie expects a full report as soon as it's convenient. And by that, she generally means now. Prince, I was told you'd made it out of the hole, but nothing beats seeing you with my own eyes. In case you're wondering, Nero was taken straight to the infirmary. The chief should be back soon with news if you don't mind waiting. Chief, how is he? Not good. It seems one of Omega's nastier minions paid him a visit in our absence. He's putting on a brave face, but having seen his injuries, I'm surprised he kept going for as long as he did. The Kairugans confined him to bed. Even should Omega extend its next invitation, Nero won't be coming with us. Midgarsoma is taking a lengthy nap now, isn't he? And it won't be long before our base camp is lost to the rift again. When the time comes, I'll join the expedition myself. The challenges will only get harder, and you'll need someone reliable at your back. I appreciate the offer, Jessie, and I may yet take you up on it when the time comes. But let's not make any decisions just yet. I have a lot of thinking to do about what's happened and about what lies ahead. Queh. Poor thing. He seems worried. Thank you for trying to save me. Queh. Well, that got a smile out of him. We may not understand what he says, but I think we can understand how he feels. Right. Much as I'd like to stay and chat, we all have work to do. Sooner or later, we're going to have to face Omega itself, and we've seen what it's capable of. We need to be stronger. We need to be ready when Omega calls on us again. Let's make sure that we are ready. Alright, and so with that, the Sigmascape has been finished. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break here, and then we are going to go through the process of unlocking the Ananta Beast Tribe quests. Alright everybody, we are back, and it is now time to take a look at unlocking the Ananta Beast Tribe quests. Now, from what I understand, it's not just as simple as heading over to the Ananta themselves and just unlocking it. There's actually a sequence of quests that you need to go through to unlock that. And those are quests that were available at the start of 4.0. And you just had to complete them. Now, I completed one of them a little while back, a quest called The Hidden Truth, and what that was is basically a quest whereby somebody is looking into historical records of Alamegans that were captured, and some of them are still missing, and they're trying to find information about them. That took us over to Bittermill over here, and that's where we'll find the next quest here, Drawing a Blank. Alright, here we go. Sorry to keep you waiting. I fear the battlefield is no place for a bookworm. If the gods are kind, we'll encounter no further distractions. Now let's begin our search. We'd like to cover more ground if we split up. Hopefully there is still some trace of the prisoners left here. Alright, so let's take a look around this little hamlet here. The cloying stench of rotting debris fills your nostrils. You're unable to discern where the odor is coming from. Upon closer inspection of the ground, you see footprints. Some of them appear to be fresh. Now, where's the last clue? Here we go. This house is much too clean to have been abandoned for 20 years. Alright, then let us go ahead and report that. Ah, Prince, thank goodness. I found someone while inspecting the houses. He seems unwell. Unwell? Unwell? No, definitely not. Certainly not. Yes, we're quite fine. But what of you? A little girl dressed in strange clothes. Quite strange, quite strange. What? You have some nerve. Regardless of how I look, I am a ranking officer of the Order of the Twin Adder. Thank you very much. Now, who are you, and what business do you have here? Who? Yes, who? An excellent question. You are you, but who are we? Yes, we would like to know very much, very much. You don't remember? Well, is there anything you can remember? Remember. Yes, something about this place. Something familiar. Quite familiar. Prince, this is only a hunch, mind you, but I suspect he is not from this place. Considering he's Elizin, he's likely a Gridanian escaped from the Garleans. Or perhaps, could he be one of the missing prisoners? It would certainly explain the Garlean soldiers from before. We need to take him back for questioning. Excuse me, sir, but would you be willing to come back with us? At the very least, it would be more comfortable than these dilapidated houses, and we may be able to help you recover your memory. Memories. Sweet memories. Yes, we would like them very much, very much. Alright then, let's return to Castrum Oriens. My browbeating commander will likely wish to meet you. I suppose it can't be helped. Alright, let's make our way up to Castrum Oriens then. Possibly one of the missing prisoners, you say? I expected such wild claims from Lieutenant Mulcahy. But if you were corroborate her report, perhaps this warrants investigation. Until further notice, he shall stay under the protection of the Eorzean Alliance. Sir, with all due respect, you cannot just... Lieutenant Mulcahy, get this man a hot meal and a warm bed. When he's had a bit of rest, see what he knows of Bittermill and the Garleans. It should not be long before we reach a resolution in all this. You're free to wait here until she finishes questioning our new detainee. I imagine Lieutenant Mulcahy has finished questioning the detainee by now. Go and see what, if anything, she's learned. Alright, that's going to take us over to here. Oh, Prince, I've just finished with questioning. Unfortunately, he can recall absolutely nothing of his past. The only thing he's certain of is that he's escaped from Garlean captivity. I'm beginning to believe he really is one of the missing prisoners. But where does Bittermill fit into all this? I fear we've reached an impasse. It's not as if we can ask the Garleans what they were doing there. Or perhaps we can. The soldier who escaped us earlier must know something to have been prowling about the area. He has to be taken into custody. Come, Prince, we must speak with certain Marshal Brookstone about assembling a search party. No stone can be left unturned. Alright. You wish to capture the soldier you encountered at Bittermill? Well, you should know I've already dispatched a reconnaissance team. After reading Lieutenant Mulcahy's report, I thought it prudent he be apprehended immediately. However, therein lies the rub. We lack the manpower to sufficiently survey the area. In fact, I was just deliberating over who I should call back to make a sweep of Owen's stash. There's no need for that, sir. Prince and I will go. I realize I'm not the ideal scout to assist in this, but we have to find them. Alright. That's going to take us to the south and a little bit to the west. Actually, I think I just passed it up. Here we go. On your guard, Prince. I have a bad feeling about this place. We found him, Prince. We really found him. What are you... Ugh. These wounds. If he's not treated soon, he won't be telling anyone anything. He's like to bleed out if left unattended. Go and tell Serpent Marshal Brookstone we found him, and he needs medical assistance before he can be moved. Alright, then in that case, let's fly out of here. Actually, come to think of it, this is probably quicker. My men have searched high and low, yet there's no sign of this runaway soldier. You found him at Owen's stash? Say no more. Attention, this is Brookstone speaking. The subject has been found at Owen's stash. I repeat, the subject has been found at Owen's stash. He is severely wounded and in need of medical attention. Excellent work. Perhaps now we can finally get to the bottom of all this Bittermill business. Alright. And the next quest is the Honest Truth. By all rights, my men should be back by now. Go and see if you can find Lieutenant Mulco. I want to know what those Garlean dogs were up to. Ah, Prince. I'm happy to report we managed to bring him back safely, and not a minute too soon. I plan to speak with him shortly after returning, but the healers won't permit anyone to see him until he's settled and the bleeding stopped. I imagine we won't have to wait very long. Alright, so... okay, we just have to wait here then. It seems he's finally fit to speak. I don't expect you to be grateful, but I'd like to remind you you likely wouldn't be standing here if we hadn't found you in that cave. Now start talking. What were you doing out there at Bittermill? We were looking for someone. An escapee from one of our facilities. He'd lost his memory and was otherwise mentally unstable, so we knew he couldn't have gone far. I believe the man you're speaking of is already in our custody. We found him seeking shelter in Bittermill. He claims you captured him, though he cannot recall where. So we returned to Bittermill after all. I guess the past came back to haunt him, even if he can't remember it. Listen, my superiors are not like to show you any leniency. If you tell me everything you know, I will do all within my power to see your life is spared. Do we have a deal? Miss, I may be dressed in their uniform, but you'd be mistaken to believe I owe the Garleans any allegiance. I will gladly tell you. 20 years ago, a group of prisoners was relocated to Bittermill to assist in the Garleans' more unorthodox experiments. They wanted to create a new chemical weapon, one that would leave buildings untouched while killing any and everyone it came in contact with. Black Rose, I believe it was called. That's horrible. Their intention was to drive back Eorzean forces without wasting any of their own on the front lines. Of course, they wouldn't know if it really worked without willing volunteers. And what better place than a village long since abandoned by its people? Not a single prisoner survived, their tests proving a resounding success. It was only a matter of time before Black Rose was be deployed, or so they thought. To the surprise of many, the project was shut down before Black Rose could even be used. The order came from the legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion, an interim leader of the Alamegan province, Gaius van Belsar. The Black Wolf would not allow the senseless murdering of Eorzea's people. He saw them as future subjects of the Empire to be ruled, not savages to be slaughtered. Everything was to be destroyed, but the man behind the project would not see his work wasted, and ran off with the last remaining samples of Black Rose. He was promptly apprehended, but he'd already hidden his work away. They used every heinous tool at their disposal to make him talk, yet he would not, or rather he could not, tell them where he hid it. The doctor had already gone mad, and couldn't remember a thing. I can only assume one of his experiments went wrong and ruined the mind in the process. That means the man we found earlier. Aye, that's him. Grill Armists, former head of the research of the 14th Imperial Legion. Alright. I can't believe that incoherent mess of a man was a scientist in service to the Empire. I think we've heard enough. Thank you for your cooperation. What do you think, Prince? A part of me wants to believe it isn't true, but I see no reason why he would lie to us. There has to be some way to substantiate his story. Well, you could go back there and find it. If the entirety of Bittermill was used for their experiments, it would be no easy feat to do away with the evidence of such a massive operation. No, there would have to be some lingering traces of their work, and if they couldn't dispose of it, their only option would be to bury it. Prince, we have to go back to Bittermill. Alright, so back we go. Alright, let's split up. There has to be something here, and I'm not leaving until we find it. Alright, let's make an air survey and see if we can find this thing. Ah, this might be it. Here. There's nothing buried here. Alright. Let's keep looking. There is nothing buried here. Okay, the search continues. Your digging reveals a small metal container. Though you probably shouldn't touch it, Lieutenant Molko will want to know what you found. Alright. Let's make our way over. You found something. A metal container? Could it be the missing sample of Black Rose? So he was telling the truth after all. There's no time to be sentimental, nor hasty. Any mishaps in handling that container could prove disastrous. Let's report back to Serpent Marshal Brookstone. Alright. Lieutenant Molko, reporting, sir. We've discovered the identity of the man we thought to be one of the missing prisoners. He is Drillarmus, former chief of research of the 14th Imperial Legion, who oversaw the manufacturing of a chemical weapon known as Black Rose. After a thorough survey of Bitter Mill, we've discovered what we believe to be a sample of this weapon. We'd like to request assistance in retrieving it. Attention, this is Brookstone. A container we believe to contain a Garlean chemical weapon has been discovered at Bitter Mill. I need you to get out there and retrieve it immediately. As for the missing prisoners, they were used as test subjects for Black Rose. There were no survivors. Sir, I don't believe we should allow the risk of such a weapon falling into the wrong hands. I agree, Lieutenant. After the weapon has been safely moved to a secure location, rest assured we will see to its disposal. As for Drillarmus, his fate resides with the Council. Considering the weight of his crimes, his punishment will be quite severe. I almost pity the man, but memories or no, his crimes cannot be excused. Lieutenant Molko, Lieutenant Brightstar, you've done well today, and I'm sure you're both quite tired. Go and rest, you've earned it. Actually, I think I'll be heading back to Gridania to write up a report. The events of Bitter Mill need to be recorded, that we might prevent such atrocities from happening again. I wish I could accompany you a while longer, but I'm sure the Great Griffin's bane is needed elsewhere. Thank you again for all your help. I look forward to adding your feats of daring to our records someday. Okie dokie. And with this, I'm going to grab the materia here. Alright, so that completes the first quest line. There is now a second quest line that also needs to be completed in order to unlock the Ananta Beast Tribe quest. And for that, we're going to make our way over to the Peering Stones. And now the one we're looking for is... here it is, a new contender. Ah, Prince, might I trouble you for a moment of your time? In recent days, a young Seeker of the Sun has seen fit to issue me several challenges to combat. I can only assume he means to assume the role of Nun and leader of our people. Tradition dictates the strongest among us must take the position, so I gladly face any who believe they are fit to lead. The problem, however, is this challenger is decidedly weak, yet no matter how many times I put him down, he refuses to concede. His invitations to duel were a mild annoyance at first, but I've come to find his single-minded determination to be intriguing. In fact, I was hoping you would consider training him. I realize how absurd it sounds to help my rival-to-be, but I am curious of his potential. If you would take him under your wing, he's likely loitering about Verjada. Safe travels. Alrighty, so let's see where they are. All the way to the south where the Maw is. You're that adventurer that's been sauntering about the village. What do you want? Miraz asked you to train me? I don't need his pity, and I certainly don't need you. And I'll prove it after I beat you bloody. I'll defeat Miraz and take my rightful place as nun. Damn it all. Why? Why am I so weak? Alright, fine. If you mean to train me, then get on with it. That's what you came here for, isn't it? Good. After a few lessons from you, Miraz will wish he'll never sent you to me. I refuse to end up like my father. I will become stronger, even if it means accepting help from my enemy. Where were we? Ah, I should probably introduce myself. You can call me Mazette. Now, how about you show me what you can do? Hold on a minute. I didn't mean I want to fight again. I want to observe, preferably from a safe distance. A gazelle would make a good fight, and they graze nearby. Let's be off. Okay, so this is taking us north, back past the Peering Stones. Alright, here we go. Alright, that takes him out. Well, now I can see why my beating earlier was so swift. I feel stronger just for having watched you fight. Maybe I can put some of those moves to use against Miraz. I need a moment to think. Alright, I think I'm ready. The title of Nun is as good as mine. I'm gonna find him on the ground, aren't I? Yeah, I thought as much. Not again. Why am I so weak? Do you not tire of this fool's errand? Tell me, why is it you seek the title of Nun? My father was Nun of the M tribe, until his title was stolen and we were driven out of the village. Then, just when I thought things were at their worst, he abandoned me. This is your fault. If you hadn't taken away his title, he'd still be here. I'll rip you limb from limb for it if I have to. You wait and see. His father was Nun as well? There was a time when the M tribe was led by 2 nuns. In the common tongue, it is often interpreted as chief of the tribe, but first and foremost, we are a father to our people. When our hunting grounds are vast and children many, it is sometimes necessary to have a second nun, as we once did. After the Garleans invaded, however, our lands diminished as there are numbers. We agreed only a single nun was needed. Under normal circumstances, we would do battle, the loser abdicating their title. But his father relinquished it willingly, and left with him from the Peering Stones. We never heard from him again. Mazet, son of Mat. After all these years, he returns, but why would his father leave him to survive on his own? Perhaps there is someone among our people or the Ananta who know what became of him. Take Mazet with you and see what you can discern of his father's whereabouts. You're like to find him near the southern edge of Verjada. Alright, back to the south. I wish you hadn't seen that. What a bloody mess I was. None of this would be happening if my father were still here. It wasn't easy growing up on my own. Once I become nun, though, I'll finally get the respect and admiration I deserve. I beg of you, help me defeat Miraz. Are you ready to whip me into shape? I've been thinking about how I need to improve, and I'm fairly certain fending off attacks is my weak point. After all, both you and Miraz bested me with a single blow. I think I have just the thing to practice defending myself. Follow me. Alright, to the northwest. Look what I found. Mark, I'm not sure what Greek number that is. Or Roman. Grenades left behind by the Garleans. Can you believe it? Word has it you've dealt with them before, so I'm sure you know what these can do. They'll be perfect for practicing my guard. Now, take these grenades and throw them at me. No need to worry, I've already emptied out most of their explosive powder. Alright, if you insist. Should have emptied them out a little more. I mean, that was nothing. Go ahead, toss another. I think that one had more powder than the last one. Not that that's a bad thing, mind you. Hit me with another. I can take it. Gah! I must have forgotten to empty out the powder. But that just means the training will make me tougher. Why, I bet I could defeat Miraz right now if I wanted. Or perhaps after a short break. Alright. Next quest. Those grenades took a toll on me, but I'm feeling much better. My ribs have taken on an unusual shade of purple, but I bet that means the training's working. I couldn't have come this far without you, though. It's only proper that I ask you come and see me finally take down Miraz. What do you say? Thanks. You don't know how much this means to me. Let's head to the Peering Stones then. Miraz won't know what hit him. Alright, to the Peering Stones we go. What's that? Have you come to challenge me once more for the title of Nun? I have, and this time I will defeat you. Very well. Let us reconvene at the valley to the southeast. Reconvene? Are you afraid I'll shame you here in front of your people? No matter. Well, it looks like we're headed to the valley. There you are. I was beginning to think you wouldn't show. Your time as Nun of the M Tribe ends today. Before we begin, Mazette, there's something you must know. What now? A terrible tale told to me by the Vira. 20 years ago, a Mikote of the M Tribe, traveling with child, happened upon their people. He claimed to be a nun, who relinquished his title to avoid creating discord within the tribe. Though no longer one of them, he planned to watch over them from afar. One fateful day, the local wildlife were afflicted by a strange illness that drove them into a frenzy. It was as if they were possessed, forming a monstrous herd storming towards the Peering Stones. He could not stand idly by and watch his former home be destroyed, and so he chose to face the beasts alone, leaving his child in the Ananta's care. One after another the beasts fell as he drove them into a nearby cavern, yet he would not escape unscathed, for one of the creatures struck him with poison that would soon turn him to stone. His limbs growing stiff, he used the last of his strength to collapse the cave entrance. The remaining crevice that would have allowed their escape was blocked by his cold, petrified flesh. That man was Mott, your father. There are those who called him a coward for leaving, but in truth he was the bravest among us. Do you recall this blade? It has rested here ever since that fateful day your father gave his life to save us. My father's blade. So it's true then. I hated him for so long, Be strong, Mazette. You're your father's son, and one day you shall make a great nun. Forgive me. My memories of childhood are hazy, but I do recall being taken to an Ananta village shortly after leaving the M Tribe. Now I know why he left me all those years ago. He was a hero to the bitter end, fighting to protect our people. And now I would protect them too. I need to speak with Miraz. To the Peering Stones we go. Ah, you are returned. Miraz, I want to apologize for the disrespect I've shown you. You're not to blame for my father leaving. I realize that now. You needn't apologize. We are men of the M Tribe. It is only natural that we might quarrel in one way or another. Now that you know the truth, what will you do now? If you would have me, I wish to rejoin the M Tribe as a Tia. I will become stronger and one day carry on in my father's footsteps. By his blade, I swear it. Very well. I welcome you once more as Mazet Tia of the M Tribe. Train hard, young one, and become the man I know your father believed you could be. I would also hold a memorial service to honor your father's sacrifice. We do not have his remains, but I pray his soul will at last be at peace. Thanks for all your help. I might have never learned about my father if you hadn't shown up. Next time we meet, you'll be addressing me as Mazet Nun. At least, I hope so. I also expect a rematch for the first thrashing you gave me. I should get going. I have to reintroduce myself to a lot of people. Till we meet again. Words fail to express my gratitude, adventurer. He will make a fine nun someday. When his time comes, I hope you will offer him support again as you did this day. Alright, let's see what we've got here. I believe I'm going to take the Bracelet of Slaying. Alright, so that should now have... there should now be a second, another quest here that's going to join both of those lines together. The rose blooms twice. Ah, what fortuitous timing. I would ask a favor of you. I spoke again with the Vira regarding the death of Mat, and heard a disturbing rumor as to why the beasts of Verdagla ran amok that fateful day. They believe the Kalyana were behind it. And it's hard to believe such a reclusive tribe would do such a thing, but I would be foolish to doubt the word of the Vira. We must be certain, which is why I ask you seek the truth at the heart of this matter. Perhaps it is mere coincidence, but the Kalyana have been acting strange of late, leaving their borders to venture into East End. An ill wind blows across the fringes. Please, you must find out what they are up to. Alright, to the east we go then. Actually, why is the East End in the west? I suppose it could be possibly referencing the east side of Baelsar's wall. Okay, I see trouble. Let's get our chocobo out. Griffin's Bane. Oh, thank goodness you arrived. Twice now you've saved me from certain doom. After completing my reports in Gridania, I thought it prudent to return and learn more about the history of this region. I was especially interested in this tree they call the Percipient One. It is revered as a source of great spiritual energy. I was told this was a place of beauty before the Guardians arrived, yet an air of gloom hangs over the place now. I plan to investigate the degradation of the area, starting with this tree, when I was assaulted by the Kalyana. But what brings you here? You suspect they've been driving the beast of Virjala into a frenzy? Perhaps it's related to their strange behavior of late. At any rate, we should have a look around. There has to be a reason why they came all this way. If their fates are kind, they'll have left us a clue. Well, this kind of looks like a clue. What is this? A giant orange? A foul odor assaults your nostrils, but you find nothing out of the ordinary. Alright, let's keep looking. Strange fumes are emanating from the roots of this tree. Did you find anything? I recognize these markings. This is a container of black rose. 12, help us if any more samples yet remain. You don't suppose the Kalyana hid this here, do you? What could they possibly want with it? Prince, are you unharmed? Don't look so surprised. Shooting a few arrows isn't that difficult, even for me. But that's not important. I come bearing news from Miraz Nun. He went to meet with the Vira to offer them thanks for taking me in after my father's disappearance. It was there he learned an awful truth about the incident that claimed his life. The Kalyana used a strange fruit to drive the beasts of Virjala mad. The stampede was meant to drive out the M tribe so they could claim our lands as their own. Strange fruit. Of course, the Percipient One. This is only a theory, mind you, but if the contents of that container leaked into the soil, it may have had adverse effects on the plant life here. It would certainly explain the conditions of this tree. Now that the Garleans no longer move freely through these woods, the Kalyana likely saw this as a chance to harvest the fruit and finish what they started. It's a plan that reeks of their people, never wanting to sully their own hand. Thanks to you two, we can ensure it won't come to fruition. I've left nothing more than to avenge my father here and now, but I know that's not what he'd want. I'll take her back to the Peering Stones. Miraz will know what to do with her. I better go and contact Serpent Marshal Brookstone. We need to get men out of here and dispose of that container. Thank you again for all your help, Prince. I hope our next meeting is under better circumstances. Alright, let's make our way back to the east. Welcome back, my friend. Tell me, what did you find at East End? My word. So what the Vira told me was true. I never thought it as certain that... a concern that the Kalyana should seclude themselves. They always seem so peaceful. Yet our carelessness nearly brought about the end of the M tribe. Well, we will not make that mistake again. I will deal with the Kalyana you captured after they tell us all they know. I'm honestly surprised that Mazet Tia chose to seek my counsel rather than deal with them himself. There is hope for him yet. Again, we find ourselves in your debt. I foresee great things ahead for the M tribe, and I'm certain you have helped set us on the path to lasting prosperity. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see. So, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the healing one here. Alright, and so now we have a quest marker for a new feature that's gonna be unlocked. The Broodmother. Greetings, Prince. I'm glad to see you looking hale and hearty. We're fortunate that you returned unscathed from that business involving the Percipient One. Thanks to you and Mazet Tia, the Kalyana have been keeping away from it. Speaking of the Ananta, a messenger from the Vira came by not long ago looking for you. Sarisha has some matters she'd like to discuss with you. Perhaps you could pay her a visit? Alright, so that takes us to the north here. Welcome, Prince. Allow me to once again express our gratitude for your heroic deeds. To think that the Kalyana should summon that mockery of Sri Lakshmi for a second time makes my blood boil. Our village owes you much to your bravery, and yet I am compelled to request your aid once again. My beloved daughter, Alpa, is a member of the Resistance. Though she is young and unskilled in the ways of war, she labors tirelessly for the freedom of Gurabanya. Now that the Garleans have relinquished their grip on the region, many Vira who serve in the Resistance will be called back to Vira Nila. As my daughter, Alpa's presence is required above all others. One day Alpa will inherit the mantle of Broodmother, and there is much I must teach her. Despite our newfound freedom, many trials await in the days to come for all the peoples of Gurabanya. We need not only strong leaders, but able successors to lead us into the futures. I have written a letter for Alpa explaining why she must return to Viranelia at once. However, I anticipate that her superiors will be against her leaving on such short notice. As a friend of the Resistance, you would be able to persuade them to release her from service. Will you grant us your cooperation? I'll handle this. Your selflessness knows no bounds. Please give this letter to Alpa. She is stationed in Ralger's Reach. I pray for a satisfactory outcome. Are you kidding me with that triple lift there? There she is. Yes, I am Alpa. A missive from Mother, you say? Let me see that. She wants me to leave the Resistance and return to Viranelia. This is absurd. I'm pleased that she has such high expectations of me, but I've still got work to do here with the Resistance. Oi, calm down, will you? First things first, haven't you got anything to say to the one who brought you the letter? You're right. Where are my manners? I am very grateful to you for delivering this message. Ah, you're PrinceBrightstar, conqueror of Castellum Villadina, aren't you? Of course, I recognized you straight away. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. The name's Jolhim, and I report to Alpa here, believe it or not. I suppose I should explain why I don't want to go back, seeing as you've traveled all this way. Although I've assumed the title of Battle Maid, fighting isn't exactly my forte. I'm much better at metalworking, and since joining the Resistance, I have been placed in command of a small group of blacksmiths. While the others were out capturing Villadina, I was here in the Reach crafting armaments. If only I could have been there with them. I am proud of the work we do supporting our soldiers, but I want to be more involved. That's why I come up with a plan to turn Castellum Villadina into a Resistance fortress, with the newly formed Villadina gatekeepers in charge. Alpa went straight to commanding officers and volunteered for the post of captain. It was certainly a surprise to hear they'd agree to it, but she was only given permission on the grounds that I be assigned as her second-in-command. And she's been nagging me constantly ever since. Anyway, my blacksmiths are mainly made up of Ananta, since we excel at forging weapons and armor. On the other hand, most of the frontline units include both Ananta and Striders. Our superiors were concerned that even though I'm a member of the Resistance, I've spent most of the time amongst my own kind. Jolhun's here to teach me the ways of other peoples of Gurabania. Although officially she's the one leading the unit, I'm here to act as her mentor. She's still got a lot to learn about us Striders, though. The other day she tried to take off my uniform. Are you still going on about that? I thought you were getting ready to shed your skin, so I tried to help you out of your clothes. How many times do I have to tell you? We don't mope like Ananta. You bumbling ninny. I just had an itchy back, that's all. I'm quite capable of getting undressed by myself. Let's not get into all that again. So, where were we? Ah, the letter. I will send word to Mother to tell her why I'm not going home. I'm sorry to have involved you in all this. Wait, there's one more thing. While you're here, there's something I'd like to ask you. Would you be able to meet us at Villadina? Thank you so much. Jolhim and I will wait for you at the Castellum. Alright, teleporting over. You're here! I hope you had a safe journey. As I mentioned earlier, the Resistance wishes to repurpose this place as a new stronghold. The bridge is very important, strategically speaking, and is mainly used by Allied forces going to and from Gridania. But now the Imperial forces have been driven out. We can expect more civilian traffic in the future. That said, if 10 score legionaries suddenly showed up and demanded their bridge back, we'd be hard-pressed to hold them off with the forces we have stationed here now. Tell me, Prince, what do other peoples do at times like this? So, I would say in Ishgard, the Temple Knights petitioned adventurers to undertake leaves. What a fantastic idea! Adventurers could cover our lack of enlisted soldiers, at least for the time being. Let's spread the word that the Villadina gatekeepers are offering work. There's not a moment to lose. You're an adventurer. You'll sign up to help, won't you? I suppose I can lend you my strength. 1,000 blessings upon you. Let's begin by... Ah, someone's coming. Wait, is that who I think it is? Mother! I read your message, Alpa. You have formed the Villadina gatekeepers and been made their captain. That's what I wrote, isn't it? I've got an important assignment and I intend to see it through. Oh, and what is this important assignment of which you speak? I'm responsible for converting this place into a full-fledged resistance fortress. It's vital to the defense of both Gridania and Gurabania. Alpa, you possess many virtues, but strength in battle is not among them. Yet you believe you are capable of leading this endeavor? Very well. The entire region stands to benefit from strengthened borders, our village included. But remember, Alpa, you are my heir. You cannot shirk this responsibility forever. You may remain here on one condition. It will soon be time for me to shed my skin. When it is over, I shall return to inspect this stronghold. If your work is found to be unsatisfactory, nothing you say or do will stop me from taking you back to Vira Nila. Fine, have it your way. When you see what I've done with this place, you'll regret ever doubting me. I look forward to it. Until we meet again, fare you well. It seems my debt to you continues to grow. Please grant my daughter your counsel. Though she is rash and impulsive, her spirit burns brightly. So, if we succeed, Villadina will provide Vira Nila with greater security. If we fail, the village gets its future successor back. Your mother certainly knows how to negotiate. We won't fail. I'll do everything in my power, and more, to succeed. If you say so, Captain. Right, what needs doing first? If we're going to hire adventurers, we need to choose the right person for each job. We need to think about payment, too. Got it. I'll tell Ishana, Madhura, and the others to start getting things organized. I knew I could rely on you. There's still a good deal of time before Mother sheds her skin, so let's use it as best we can. Put up the banners. They'll show everyone that this castellum is now under the jurisdiction of the Villadina gatekeepers. I hope we can count on your help too, Prince. The Villadina gatekeepers have taken command of Castello Villadina. Okay, so we start off as friendly with the Vira. Vira Beast Tribe quests are now available from Ishana at Castellum Villadina. Furthermore, you may now purchase wares from Madhura. Alright, and so let's just take a quick look here. So it looks like they've got one set of gloves here that are actually false nails, so I suspect that those are more for decoration or fashion purposes. And then, of course, there are adventurers, and then also a stuffed Ananta. And as you rank up with these, with any of the beast tribes, more wares get put into the shop here. So, it's going to take a while for me to actually get through this, because you can only do three quests per tribe a day, and just to get to the first upgrade is going to take a little bit here. But I just wanted to show you how to unlock them, because it's a little confusing in terms of how to actually do it if you didn't do any of the side quests coming through when you first went through Stormblood. So you might not be aware of the quests that you actually had to complete. But anyway, we took a look at the Sigmascape today, as well as how to unlock these Beast Tribe quests. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.